So yeah, so then we have here Jen Psaki. Psaki. I don't know how to pronounce her name. But we have here, and what she's saying is White House empty shelves aren't a supply chain crisis, it's a high-class problem. Now, is she the one saying this? I didn't read this full article, so let's find out. As the Biden White House comes under increasing scrutiny about its response to the nettlesome supply chain crisis, the administration is also finding itself having to respond to a growing numbers of self-inflicted errors. Essentially, at least 3 high-profile administration officials, in one way or another, have all recent days downplayed the supply chain meltdown that's manifested itself in everything from clogged ports to empty store shelves. There was White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain, for example, who a few days ago retweeted a post decrying the whole supply chain meltdown as a high-class problem. So I apologize about that. It wasn't Saki who said that. So it was White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain, who a few days ago retweeted a post decrying that White House chain meltdown as a high-class problem. What does that exactly mean? Well, the somewhat MIA Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, put it like this in a TV interview. President Biden successfully guided this economy out of the teeth of a terrifying recession. Did he? Okay. The implication is that we're all now going wild buying so many things with our post-recession money that we're also, clogging the darn supply chain. So are we? I don't know of a lot of people who are just overbuying, other than the scalpers buying up the most wanted things for this holiday season, like a PlayStation 5. That's just me talking crap again. Sorry. So are we overbuying? I don't know. I don't know if it's a high class problem. Now, is the United States of America a high class society? Yeah, I mean, we have first world problems. And they're so, some of these first world problems are so idiotic, but I'm not going to go into that here. So again, the implication is that we're now going wild buying so many things that are with our post-recession money. There's still a lot of people who are not working. There's still a lot of people who are having problems finding jobs. And especially, and how are we spending our post-recession money when your own, you know what? No, I'm not gonna go there. No, you know what? How are we spending our post-recession money when you're firing people because they refuse to get vaccinated? So how? Companies don't want to hire people if you're not vaccinated. They're giving you, they're giving people, you know, incentives to go get vaccinated, or they're telling people if you don't want to get vaccinated, then you're gone. Your own administration is telling if you're a government employee, you have to get vaccinated. If not, you're gone. But, you know, that's for another day. So if people aren't working, how are we spending the money? And again, you can't say it's a high class problem that we're spending our money. No, it's the fact that we can't find enough on the shelves. So people are buying up whatever they can find. And this doesn't just go to things that, you know, are coming off every single container off the cargo ships. This also pertains to food. We can't even find food on the shelves. I mean, in some cities, you can't find food on the shelves. Like I was saying earlier, my daughter loves to eat certain items, you know, like Lunchables, and we can't even find them on the shelves here locally. So is that a supply chain issue? Sure, it is. But I'll continue. White House downplays supply chain crisis. But then on Tuesday, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki added the cherry on top. Okay, so I guess she did say something. I didn't get to watch this past Tuesday, what was going on. But it came in the form of an offhand joke during the daily press briefings in response to a question from the New York Times' Michael Shear. Shear asked, why didn't the Biden administration act more aggressively early on in the pandemic? Specifically, back in March 2021, when it was already clear that the pandemic would disrupt the world's supply chain. That's true. It was clear since late last year, and people have been warning about this since late last year. Companies have been warning about this since late last year, that there were going to be issues with the supply chain issues this year. But we'll continue, you know, because Jen Psaki, you know, I don't understand how she's still the press secretary, but whatever. It was clear that things were not improving, Shear said during the question to Psaki. People couldn't get dishwashers and furniture and treadmills delivered on time, not to mention all sorts of other things. So I guess let me play this. See, let me turn this on here. Let me turn on the browser. Let me play this.
On the supply chain issue, actions that the president has taken. It was clear in March of 2020 when COVID hit that the supply chains across the world had been disrupted. Even as the sort of work to fight back against COVID proceeded, it was crystal clear that things were not improving on supply chain. People couldn't get dishwashers and furniture and treadmills delivered on time, not to mention all sorts of other things. So why is
the tragedy of the treadmill that's delayed?
Right, the treadmill.
Oh, jeez, that is such a messed up argument for everything that's going on. God, she's making light of it. Jesus. Anyways, that seemed to be her trying to suggest that what's really going on in this whole supply chain issue is not trickling down to the lives of ordinary people. That's not disrupting the ability of people to buy care goods and services that they need, as opposed to, say, big ticket items like treadmills. Only that's not entirely true. Which is exactly not entirely true. She might be making fun of the fact that, hey, he said a treadmill. That doesn't really, that doesn't really go towards ordinary shopping and ordinary people. I guess people like you and me, because that's a high class problem, I guess, which is exactly what the other idiot was saying earlier in this article. What's his name again? Chief of Staff Ron Klain, for example, who a few days ago retweeted the whole high class problem. You know, whatever. I guess if you narrow it down to a treadmill, which that seems to me like she's missing the whole point of this, because it's not just the treadmill. It's not just, you know, furniture. It's also food. Food is going scarce in certain areas. So, and not everybody can afford to buy lobster. Just saying. And then I guess we'll continue. The normal flow of necessities to stores and other locations around the country is indeed a bit disrupted right now. I never imagined that we'd be here in October 2021 talking about supply chain problems, but it's a reality. Vivek Sankaran, sorry if I messed up your name, Chief Executive Officer of grocery chain store Albertsons, told Bloomberg, any given day, you're going to have something missing in our stores. Any given day, you're going to have something missing in our stores, and it's across categories. Does this sound like a supply chain system that's humming right along as normal? No, it does not. I agree. I agree with Vivek Sankaran. I mean, I'm sorry. It's true. It's not just, you know, treadmills. So you missed the point, Psaki. Jen. One US meat packer has reportedly had to use Apple Watches as an incentive to bring new employees. Really? That's ridiculous. A meat packer literally saying, I will give Apple watches in order to bring new employees in. The challenges in the supply chain continue to be issues such as driver shortages, labor, and congestions at the ports. Chief Supply Chain Officer John Dilberry said in an email to Bloomberg. Again, true. Driver shortages and labor. People either don't want to go back to work because of all the BS that's going on. People don't want to go back to work because of whatever reasons, you know. And I'm not going to get to that in here, but it's true. The labor shortages, the driver shortages, and I think I already mentioned driver shortages earlier, but the driver shortages of drivers not wanting to go into certain states because of certain mandates. And not just that, you know, drivers not being able to get the jobs because of certain mandates. That's an issue. So maybe you should rethink that, especially since certain mandates don't prove that they work very well. But I'm not going to go into that here. And I'll continue. Just went food shopping again, thanks Empty Shelves Joe. I really love having to go every day now in order to find what used to take one trip. You know what? And I've been and for the past few weeks, I find myself telling my fiance, why do you go to the grocery store? I don't do my grocery shopping in our home. My fiance does. She does the grocery shopping. And I keep telling her, why do you have to keep going to the grocery stores almost daily? And that's true. And it's because of this. And you look at this picture here, right? That's how the shelves are. A lot of the meats that you see here, and I went to the grocery store the other day, and I shouldn't say the grocery store. I went to Target the other day. And let me take a drink real quick. I'm sorry. I went to Target the other day without my fiance and without my daughter. And I went to their food aisle, and a lot of the meat that was left over and a lot of the things that were left over were the high priced items, because people can't afford to buy the high priced items. You know, I'm sorry. I can't afford to pay $30 for, you know, 2 steaks. I think that's what it was. I think beef was like $8, $9 for less than a pound of beef, ground beef at that. So that is a supply chain issue, and that's not a high class supply chain issue. That's an issue that affects everybody when you can't even get food. But let's continue. Experts say the cost of children's toys is almost as much as 10% ahead of the Christmas buying season. The sense is that increase will continue, and that the hottest and most in-demand items might be out of stock in relatively short order. And that's what I was saying earlier, right? Make sure that if you're gonna buy toys or you're gonna buy whatever it is that you're gonna buy for Christmas this year, that you get ahead of the curve and get it when you find it. Don't wait to say, hey, I'm gonna get it the week before Christmas, or I'm gonna get it on Black Friday or that month. You know, even if they have a sale, that sale's not going to be enough to warrant the headaches that you're going to go through in order to be able to get it. So just go ahead and get ahead of the curve if you find what you're looking for Christmas, and just get it now. And I'm sorry if you're having to go to the grocery stores every single day like my fiance's having to do just to be able to find the food. So, you know, but at the end of the day, the children also need to have a nice holiday as well. Even if you can't get big ticket items, get them something. Like my daughter, some Beyblades, because she keeps beating my butt on Beyblades. And I said this earlier again, so I went out and bought some Beyblades just so I can try to beat her. I got them on Amazon though. I couldn't find what I wanted in stores because the shelves were empty. But anyway, so yeah, so this seems to be a big issue that's going to be affecting everybody for a while. And it's going to continue probably into next year. So hopefully, you know, them saying that this is a high class problem, they're definitely missing the part. They're missing the mark, because this is definitely not a high class problem. This is affecting everybody. So, you know, they need to just, and then Psaki narrowing it down. Oh, what it says, she said, the tragedy of the treadmill that's delayed. Really? Jeez. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm gonna move on from here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. Also, leave your comments below. If you want to chat about any of these topics or any others, consider joining my live stream during my 1-hour pre-gaming news recap. I'm Eric the Inadequate, and until next time.